Good morning, scientists and artists. Today we're going to learn about something that happens to land all around us. But before I tell you what it is, I want you to be detectives. Take 30 seconds to look at this image and use your eyes to notice every detail. Now you can turn to your partner and tell them something you notice.
There's water running down the middle of the canyon.
Okay. What do you think happened to the land?
It looks like the water eroded the mountains or the land away from each other.
Okay. Now we're going to look at a different picture, and I want you to evaluate what's different in this picture than the last.
In that one, it looks like the rocks are stopping the water from eroding the sand on the side.
Okay. What clues in this image lead you to know what happened?
It looks like they built the wall with rocks intentionally
Okay. Why do you think that this land and this picture stay better together than the first image?
because they planned for the water erosion.
Okay. All right. So we're going to learn about a science word called erosion today. So erosion happens when wind or water moves soil, rock, or land from one place to another. So like in this first image that we had, you can see that the water carved the rocks to have a path so the water can go down the canyon. Or you can imagine like if you have like a pile of dirt and you blow on it and then the dirt blows away, that's similar to kind of like what erosion would be like. Can everyone say erosion?
Erosion.
Now let's pretend we're the wind blowing soil away. Good job. Now pretend you're water washing soil down a hill. All right. Okay. And then we have something like this image where the humans have kind of disrupted nature to prevent erosion from happening, and they have made it so that the water can't damage the land. Why do you think that it would be important to make a precaution that wouldn't allow nature to damage land?
If the soil gets washed away, then the houses that are on the soil also get washed away.
Yeah, so we want to prevent any damage from happening from houses or people's property or anything like that. So we're going to talk about the words erosion, protect, and repurpose. We have two more important words today. What does it mean to protect something?
To make sure that no harm comes to it.
Protect means to keep something safe. So you had a good definition. Now we're going to talk about repurpose. Repurpose. What do you think repurpose? Wait. What do you think protecting something means? Wait, we already did that. Repurpose. What do you think repurpose means?
Repurpose would mean to take something and use it for something else.
Yeah. Repurpose means taking something old and using it in a new way. So what is an idea that you have that you could repurpose something?
Can I use your picture as an example?
Yeah.
So they took stones and built up a wall with the stones to prevent the water from washing away the land.
It's good. So they used like their surroundings in order to change and prevent erosion. So, for example, all right. So, for example, we have this, which is cardboard, and we can use this to be a part of a box, or it can be used for many other things. Today, we might repurpose to be a rock wall in our artwork. Thumbs up if you think a tree can protect the land. Okay. Now, thumbs up if you think grass can protect land. All right. So now, we pull up a picture of a collage. So we have this image of something that a student has made before that shows kind of what we're going to be doing today. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using 3 or more recycled materials to make our diagram of erosion. So now we're going to talk about, have a little power. So we're going to talk about protecting land from erosion. So we're going to talk about a couple different standards today. We're going to talk about 2.v.c, R.4, which says repurpose objects to make something new. Then we have VC.2VC01, which says identify connections between your visual art and other content areas, personal experiences, and the world. And then we have one final standard, which is 2.1.3, which says design solutions to slow or prevent wind or water from changing the shape of the land. So erosion happens when wind or water moves soil. We have an image here. What causes erosion can be wind, rivers, rain, and waves. So we have different ways to protect land. Some of them will be human-made, so they will prevent erosion from happening by making a protection, or there's natural things such as trees, grass, rock, and retaining walls. So we're going to talk about erosion, protecting, repurpose, and landforms. So what we're going to be doing as our project is we're going to create a collage showing how land is protected. So you're going to want to think about what ways do you know that land is protected by nature. So you're going to want to use 3 or more recycled materials. And we're going to talk about what is your favorite feature that stops erosion. So you might want to think about that to include into your assignment. And then, yeah, so now I want you guys to brainstorm for a little bit what you kind of want to design for your project. And I want you to think about what materials you might want to use, how you would want to repurpose them, and what else you would want to have in your design, like rocks, trees, or grass. So I want you guys to think about that for just a couple seconds. Then I'm going to call on someone to tell me what they want to use in their design. So let's start with what recycled materials would you like to use in your assignment?
Can I use cardboard, rocks, and tree branches?
Yes. And how do you think you would want to repurpose them?
I would use the cardboard as the base and the rocks and the tree branches to show how I would prevent erosion.
Okay. And what else could you use to show trees, grass, or rocks?
Popsicle sticks, um, paper, you can crumple it into branch shapes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so now we're going to look at a couple more images of erosion just to give you some inspiration for your projects. So we have this first image. Take a minute to look at it. Then we have this image. And when you're looking at these images, just kind of think about what different materials you could use to represent all of these items. All right, and we have this one. One more. Okay, so now what I want you guys to do is I'm going to show you an image and I want you to think about how you could help prevent erosion in this situation or what you could use to protect the land from erosion.
With that one, I would say maybe dig a trench so that the water is going where you want it to go and not destroying your fields.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Got this one.
With that one, I would say use the rocks like in the pictures you showed earlier and build up a side base so that it doesn't continue to take away the land.
Then what about this one?
That one's going to be difficult because that is a lot of years of water damage, but they could dam the river and allow it to only go in the amount that they want it to go so it doesn't do so much damage.
Yeah. And okay, so now we're going to look at some examples of projects, and I want you guys to think about what they used in their projects that you would want to use in yours. And also pay attention to like what kind of like resources they used in theirs. We have this one. Couple more. All right, so now I'm gonna go back through and I want you guys to identify what kind of recycled materials they used.
Looks like they used a water bottle, some sand, and some rocks.
Okay, how about this
It looks like sand, rocks, and maybe an old bin,
one? How about this one?
an egg carton, eggshell, and some dirt or mud.
Then we have this one.
It looks like a shoebox and some cardboard and some construction paper.
How about this?
That one looks like it might be an egg carton with some rocks and some pipe cleaners.
Okay. And one more.
That one looks like a shoebox with some pine cones and maybe some moss and some rocks.
All right. Okay, so now I want to hear, what do you think you are going to design for your project? What are some ideas that you have to use some of your materials?
So I think I can use the cardboard box as the background to lay or as my foundation. And then I can use paper and sticks and rocks and some dirt to actually create the diorama.
Okay, so now you have the materials that you wanted to use all picked out. So if you want to start putting your model together, and I'm going to walk around and kind of look at what you guys are putting together. So you've chosen cardboard, some sticks, some rocks. Lots of good meat. And you chose a water bottle, some cardboard, a paper towel. Oh, and I see you're using paper. I like what you're doing with that. That's what's good. Oh, I like the shape you cut out of your cardboard to represent. So that can represent the river.
Yes.
That's so cool.
And now I'm going to rip up some paper to make grass.
Yeah. Go around your river.
Yes.
Ooh, and those look just like tree branches. Do you think maybe you would want to color your paper brown?
And then I have some rocks
Where are you gonna put those? Where are you gonna put those at?
alongside the river to help it from eroding away the sand.
Oh, that's good. Like the picture that we saw earlier.
Yes.
What is one example that you can think of erosion that you see sometimes, like in your daily life?
Well, where I live, it's windy, and I see a lot of dust devils where it's moving sand or dirt from place to place.
Where I live, there's a river kind of close to my house, and the river sometimes, if it rains a lot, the river will get bigger and destroy some of the land around it. So we had to make sure that our house was far away from the river. Ooh, I like how you put the dirt around the river. That's cool.